Welcome back to Socially So, India's largest psychology community where we make psychology easy, engaging, and relatable for you. Today, we are kicking off with a brand new series, Counselling and Therapeutic Skills, a complete foundational series designed to give you the essential building block every aspiring therapist needs. So, let's start with the very basics. The word psychometric literally means the measurement of the mind, right? So it's the science of developing tools of that measures the psychological constructs like the intelligence, aptitude, emotion, personality, and attitude, right? So you must have heard like अच्छा तुम्हारी IQ क्या है? अच्छा तुम्हारा personality type क्या है? All these we can measure just through the psychometric tests that we have. For example, we have the Big Five inventory, we have the 16 PF, so 16 personality factor, then MMPI that measures the psychopathology and the personality of the person. So, psychometric that actually ensures that these tools are very accurate, fair, and meaningful also. Now, when it comes to the standardization, in simple terms, standardization means that everything is uniform. So, for example, when we were in school, that is why the uniform was given to us because there was no differentiation between any of the students. There was just um, all the students, they were wearing standardized uniform with standardized rules, and they were all equal in front of everyone. So let's break it down further. So uniform administration, that means that every test taker gets the same instructions, time limits, and environment. Okay. Then the scoring, it has to be very consistent in nature. So all responses are evaluated using the same scoring key or uh, the same scoring method in general, if we say. Then the third is the norms and the norm groups. So tests are given to the large group that represent the norm group. For example, if we have to test um, a personality type of all these people who are very outgoing in nature or extroverted in nature, right? So you can test the larger group who is the norm group, for example. So the average results of that group will actually give the reference point to the people in general. For example, if we are testing how outgoing people or extroverted people behave when they are into public spaces. Okay? So the whatever result that we're going to get from that, that will actually represent the reference point for the people who are extroverted in nature or who have the personality who are extroverted, right? And the last one is cultural adaptation. So the test developed in one country may not be automatically fit to another one. So the psychologists, they re-standardized each and every psychometric test for the culture or any kind of lingo which is differentiation, the differentiating factor over here. So they can change it according to the culture context and they can change it according to the language procedure as well. Now let's start. Now let's move to the very biggest, one of the biggest pillars of standardization or psychometric testing, which is reliability. Basically, saying that reliability that simply means consistency. Okay, how reliable is this test? If a test gives you the same results under different kinds of condition, that means that it is reliable enough. Okay, so for example, if we say that extroverted test, right? So how do we know that test is reliable? Because that is giving the same results if we do it in a bigger group, if we do it in some other culture, if some other lingo, the similar kind of behavioral changes would actually happen there as well. So that means that that test is in itself is very reliable in nature. So there are different kinds to measure the reliability of a psychometric test. The number one thing is test, retest, reliability. This checks the consistency over time. So, for example, if you take an anxiety test today and again in 2 weeks, your score should be similar if your anxiety levels have not changed over time. The second is enter uh, enter and renter reliability. Okay? So INTER and RATER reliability. This checks if two different people rating the same behavior reach similar conclusions. So, for example, if two psychologists observing a child's classroom behavior should report similar scores, right? And the third one is parallel forms reliability. So, when two versions of the same test are created, both should have a similar result. So, this helps with the testing needs that to be repeated without any memory biases of a person. And the last one is known as internal consistency, right? So, this measures whether all the items in the test measure the same thing or not. Like अगर एक टेस्ट में अगर वो एक ही टेस्ट में अगर दो अलग अलग क्वेश्चन उस इंसान की इंट्रोवर्जन एंड एक्सट्रोवर्जन को चेक कर रहे हैं so that means this test is not reliable in nature. So in short, reliability ensures that your test results are dependable and it can be reproducible according to the places that you go to, according to the culture or according to the lingo as well, where this test is reliable in nature. Now, let's move to the validity. Okay, so that is the fourth most crucial thing out of all the critical pillars of the psychometric testing, right? So, the fourth is validity. So, here we say that while reliability is the consistency, validity is actually the accuracy of it. So, if that test is reliable in different culture norms, in different lingos, so this test has to be valid as well. Valid means the accuracy of it. वो एकदम accurate test होना चाहिए. So basically, does it answer the question like, does this test actually measure what it actually claims to measure or not? Right? So there are different types of validity tests that we can understand. So the first one is known as content validity. So checks whether the test covers all the aspects of the concept or not. So for example, a test on a mathematical ability should include algebra, reasoning, and not just one topic, but different kinds of abilities in the mathematical realm. Okay. The second one is known as construct validity. So, in construct validity, the most important is how truly that measures the psychological construct of the person. So, for example, the intelligence of the person or the self esteem of the person. Right, so it is verified through researchers. So first of all, it is known as convergent validity. The test correlates with the similar measures, okay? Or discriminate validity, where the test doesn't correlate with the constructs that were given. Construct means that what actually we are measuring out of the whole thing, what is basically the psychological construct that we're targeting here. Convergent means that it is actually converging with the similar measures, and discrimination means which is not actually related to what we want to construct here. Okay. Now, then the third category here is the criterion validity. So that evaluates how well a test predicts the real life outcomes, right? मतलब जो भी हम मेजर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं क्या वो हमारे रियल लाइफ आउटकम्स में इवेलुएट होता है कि नहीं. Okay, so there are two types. Number one is known as co-current validity. So does this correlate with the existing measures or not? So if for example, if a person who is very extroverted and these days because they are feeling very reserved by some chance because of their own reasons. So does this actually existing with the current measures or not? Okay, is this actually correlating with the current measures or not? And the second is known as predictive validity. That means that can we predict the future of this behavior or the success of the behavior or not, right? So that is when we actually see that this person, can they go back to being an extroverted person who likes being outgoing, or what is the validity of the predictive behavior of the person? Okay, so basically between all these three, we have a relationship between a psychometric test and then we have standardization, we have reliability, we have validity. Okay, so standardization means that it has to be all fair. Reliability means it has to be consistent in nature, and validity means that it should ensure accuracy, it should ensure truthfulness amongst the test, right? So even if one is weak, the entire structure actually collapses. The test is actually not something that we can actually give it to the person, or that test is not something that is out there presented. So that is why all professional psychological tests go through a rigorous psychometric test evaluation. So if you see the PhD students, right? And if you guys are PhD students, of course, you guys have gone through it also, where you have to make a whole test and then we have to evaluate the test according to the psychometric testing, according to these three pillars of standardization, reliability, and validity. And it is not as easy as it seems. It will take a lot of questioning, it will take a lot of number of people to see how valid or reliable or standardized this test is, right? So in our next class, we're going to explore the core counseling skills, which is about the attentive skill, the reflective skill, and the paraphrasing skill. So don't forget uh, to come for the next class and to see how these three skills are extremely important when we talk about the counseling skills, right? So don't forget to push the notification bell, which is just right there. And you will be the first to know about the next class when it's going live. So see you next. See you soon in the next. Bye, guys.